Hey guys, I'm Deepthi Desikan, and in this video I'm going to be doing high-end brands on this side versus their dupes from mass cosmetics on this side. I've never done really like a full face of comparison of all the mass products that I feel like are the dupes of all of the high-end products, and that's the reason I'm doing this in this video. So yeah. First up, for eyebrows, I don't really have any high-end eyebrow pencils. I'm going to be just using the mass eyebrow pencil because it is one of my favorite eyebrow pencils to use. I don't invest in very expensive eyebrow products because it is something that I end up emptying too fast. And then for primer, on the high-end side, I have the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, which is a very sought-after primer, but I don't really like it because I don't find like the products blend really well on top of this. And then for the mask side, of course, I'm going to be using the Mask Gripping Primer, which is said to be like a dupe of all of this, the e.l.f. one, and all. I just don't like that the pump of this doesn't dispense the product that well because it doesn't go all the way down. So this is how the Milk and the Mask Primer look like side by side. And then for a more pore filling primer on the high end side, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. This is a really nice blurring primer which has this kind of like a silicone consistency, silicone texture to it. And this is one pore blurring primer that I can use all over my face as well if I wanted to, but I'm going to be using it just on the T-zone. For the mask side, I'm going to be using the Mask Zero Primer. It also has a similar kind of consistency. This I don't feel like is an exact match for the Huda Beauty one because I feel like it has more of a slip to it, and it is actually subtly pore blurring. This is how these two primers look like side by side. And then now moving on to the more fun part, for me at least, Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, and you know what is going to be on the mask side. So this one is very natural. It has a very thin consistency and it looks almost natural on my skin. And I've seen a lot of like Western YouTubers mention that even this is too metallic for their liking. I was like, really? Then which is the product that you guys are using? And they recommend the Duo one for the more natural glow, and I am yet to try that out. And of course, for the mask side, I'm going to be using the Mask God's Glow Illuminator in the shade Caramel. I am not going to buy a shade that matches me really well because this is 850 rupees and I'm not even a very big fan of the formula of this. So whatever I have, I will make do. And I don't think I will be using it anymore after this video at least. This has a slightly more thick texture. It looks a little bit more like, you know, ashy looking on my face because of the shade match, but a lot of people do really like this as well, so it depends on your budget and what you want to pick up. And then for the high end side, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. They've reformulated this currently, and I think a lot of people like it better or whatever, but I'm not going to be buying the newer one. I have this in the shade 7.5W, which is a pretty good match for me, and one pump is more than enough for your entire face. Mask side, I'm going to be using the Mask High Coverage Foundation. This has the exact same finish, coverage and everything like the Charlotte Tilbury one, just a little bit more luminous I feel like than the Charlotte Tilbury one. It doesn't look flat matte like that, and it is slightly more thicker in terms of consistency. Also, I feel like the brand has launched newer shades in this, so you can find shades in between. Like right now I'm using the Mask Foundation in the shade 06, but they have a shade 5.5, I think also 7.5 or something. I feel like this shade looks a little bit too pale on my skin, like too neutral. Now this is how both these foundations look like side by side. For concealer, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is in the shade Sand, which is one of my favorite concealers of all time. I really like the coverage, the finish of this concealer. It's very long wearing for me, and when I want my concealer to stay put all day, this is a concealer I reach out for. You can see that's like instantly full coverage, like it just covered up everything. And now for the mask side, I'm using the Mask Cancel Concealer in the shade number 05. I don't think like it's an exact match to the Too Faced one because I feel like that has a little bit more coverage and a little bit more matte looking, but this one is such a beautiful blend of different concealers, and you can consider this a dupe for a lot of your different high-end concealers because the formulation is that good. It's a little bit thick but creamy, but blends beautifully, not matte, not cakey, doesn't settle into the lines of your under eye area, but just stays like that, not creasing that quickly, and just beautifully long wearing concealer. It's just one of the best concealers I've ever tried out, high-end and affordable. This is how both the concealers look underneath the eyes. Next up, for a blush for the high-end side, I'm going to be using this Hourglass blush in the shade Imagine. It's like a reddish blush, but it has a very like watery kind of consistency and red pigment. It's a very buildable blush. The mask side, I'm going to be using this Blush Hour blush in the shade Dusk. Not exactly a red shade, it's a little bit of a pink shade, but the formulation of these blushes are just too good. They have like a lot of different shades. I don't think they have a red in this. It has that same lightweight serum-like formulation, very blendable, very buildable. Now to set my under eye area, which I completely forgot about, on the high-end side, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder. This is one of the best loose powders I have ever tried out, and if I have to recommend one loose powder to anyone, this would be the one I would recommend. And for the mask side, I'm going to be using the Mask Trend Setting Loose Powder. I'm not saying that this is exactly similar to the Huda Beauty one because this is a little bit more heavier. This is great for people with oily skin, not so much for people with dry skin, but this is the only loose powder from Mask that I have. It does the job really well. And then for highlighter, I'm going to be using the Dio Forever Glow Maximizer on the high-end side. And for the mask side, I have the Mask Glow Fly Liquid Highlighter. I like this even better than the Dio one. It is so good, so natural looking, but has that wet glow. This is in the shade Wing Champagne. So natural. I can pull it all the way to the inner corner of my cheek as well. Now moving on to the eyes. I have this Too Faced eyeshadow, which I get a lot of compliments for every single time I use, in the shade Hypnotic. I have so many different shades in this. I'm not sure if the mask one would match this shade exactly, but this is a beautiful foily eyeshadow with no crazy shimmer fallout or anything. It's actually a beautiful like one and done eyeshadow. For the mask side, I'm going to be using the Starlit Pot eyeshadow in the shade number 02. I feel this would be a better dupe for Urban Decay. It has the same like foily effect, but it's a different shade. Not bad at all for the price. And then for mascara, on this high-end side, I have the Too Faced Damn Girl Mascara. It's been a while since I've used this actually. It's a decently lengthening and volumizing mascara. And for the mask side, of course, I have the Mask Fabulash Mascara. This has turned out to be a little bit more wet than it used to be. So I'm not a very big fan of it right now. I honestly not recommend anyone to pick this up. But just for the sake of this video, I'm showing it to you guys. And then for the lips, I already have a lip tint dupe on my lips, which is the Raw and Juicy tint in the shade Dark Coconut versus Mask Lip Drip Mist in Cocoa Drip. This particular shade, both the formulations feel really nice and hydrating on the lips, and they feel exactly the same. They don't really like dry your lips out, but some of the shades are comparatively a little more forgiving on the lips in the Raw and Juicy Lasting tints. Now I'm going to be taking this off and showing you guys the lip dupe I have. The mask one stains a little bit more. I have a MAC Over the Top Powder Kiss Liquid Lipstick, one of my favorite, most used liquid lipstick. It is a very nice blurring formulation, not at all drying. Even if you have dry patches, it actually masks it up really well. And for the mask side, I have the Mask Matte Mousse Liquid Lipstick in the shade Queen. It's not an exact match, but it is a pretty similar shade. This is also a little bit blurring, but just not as blurring as the MAC one is on my lips, but pretty good formulation for the price. So that's pretty much it for my comparison of makeup over rupees 4,000 versus mass makeup, which is most of it is under rupees 400, except this God's Glow Illuminator, which is really pricey. Let me know if you want to watch more such videos and what other videos you'd like to watch in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.